Romance after 60 isn't sweet and simple like they say. It's raw, confusing, and sometimes it hits where you thought you were strong. I thought I'd been through it all. Love, loss, the works. But nothing prepared me for the silence that follows a goodnight text, or the feeling of being wanted, but only up to a point. If you think dating in your golden years is all warm walks and shared sunsets, I've got something you need to hear. This one's for us. When I dipped my toe back into the dating pool at 62, I had hope. A nervous kind of hope, but hope nonetheless. I thought, maybe now that I'm older, calmer, I'd finally meet someone who just gets it. Someone who's done with games, just like me. I imagined slow mornings with coffee, shared laughter over tiny things, someone who wouldn't flinch at the creases on my skin or the stories I've lived. But instead, what I got was this odd silence, polite smiles, half-listening ears. I'd talk about my life, and they'd nod, waiting for their turn to speak. Some men acted like they were doing me a favor by showing up. Others treated romance like a checklist. You like dogs? Great. You cook? Even better. I'm not a recipe. I'm not a resume. I'm a whole, living, breathing woman who's loved deeply, lost greatly, and still wants more. And yet, most dates felt like job interviews in slow motion. The spark, the connection, it was buried under expectations, old wounds, and honestly, a lot of loneliness. One man, bless his heart, told me, "I'm looking for someone who doesn't talk too much." I laughed, then I cried later, alone in my car. What shocked me most wasn't the rejection, it was the emptiness. I realized I wasn't chasing a man, I was chasing a feeling I hadn't felt in years. To be chosen, fully, loudly, unapologetically. And maybe that's where I went wrong. There's something we don't talk about enough. It's that quiet fear. The one that hums beneath the surface as we age. Not just the fear of being alone, but the fear that maybe, just maybe, we've become invisible. Have you ever sat at a dinner party where the conversation flows around you, like your furniture? Or walked into a room looking your best and no one even looks up? It starts to chip away at you. When I started dating again, I brought that fear with me, tucked neatly beneath my sweater, next to the perfume I only wore for special occasions. I was afraid that I was too much. Too experienced, too opinionated, too set in my ways. I found myself shrinking, saying less, laughing quieter, nodding more, just to be liked. And isn't that wild? After 60-something years of living, we still feel like we have to perform to be lovable. But here's the kicker: when you hide the best parts of yourself, your voice, your stories, your fire, just to keep someone around, you don't win love, you win silence, loneliness in disguise. So I asked myself, why am I afraid of being fully me? And the answer hit me hard. Because somewhere along the line, I stopped believing that being just me was enough. But I am, and so are you. You know, after all the dates, awkward goodbyes, and nights staring at the ceiling, I started to rethink everything. What is romance now? Is it candlelit dinners and stolen kisses? Sure, maybe sometimes. But more often, it's smaller. It's someone texting to ask how your back is after gardening. It's a warm cup of tea handed to you without a word. It's being seen, not as a helper or a burden or a second chance, but as you. Romance after 60 isn't about fireworks. It's about feeling safe, respected, heard. It's not about changing for someone. It's about being met where you already are. And you know what? That's beautiful. But here's what I also learned. Sometimes that kind of love comes later. Sometimes it comes from within. I started doing things I loved again. Took myself to dinner, danced in my kitchen, traveled without waiting for someone to join me, and wouldn't you know it? That's when I started feeling romantic again, not toward anyone else, but toward life itself. There was this one man, kind eyes, gentle voice. We met at a bookstore. For a moment, I thought, maybe, just maybe. But after a few weeks, I felt it. That slow fade, that pulling back. He stopped calling as much. Our conversations grew shorter. I asked him one night if everything was okay. And he said, "You're wonderful, but I'm not ready." And you know what I did? I smiled, I thanked him, and I let him go. No begging, no chasing, because I finally realized I don't need to convince someone to choose me. I am not a consolation prize. I am a prize, period. And with that clarity, I walked away. Not just from him, but from the need to be partnered. From the old idea that love only counts if someone else is holding your hand. I still believe in romance, but now I know it doesn't have to come from another person. Sometimes the greatest love story we'll ever live is the one we write with ourselves. If any part of this hit home for you, you're not alone. Dating after 60, it's a different world, full of surprise, sometimes sorrow, and yes, even strength. But no matter where you are in your journey, still hopeful, still healing, or walking away with grace, you deserve love. Not just from someone else, but from you. If this spoke to your heart, I'd love to have you stick around. Hit that subscribe button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and keep showing up as the beautiful, brave person you are. Because our stories matter, your story matters. And love, real love, it begins with truth. Thanks for listening.